today, good gets you fired.
Good customer service is doing what the customer expects you to do. Excellent customer service is doing more than the customer expects you to do.
There is no room for good. None. Welcome everybody to Ed and Ken's mini podcast. We are fired up. We are ready to go. We are going to rub. We're going to do all kinds of things. But
Wait,
Ken,
we're gonna what? What did you
we're
just
going to
say?
get
We're
into
gonna
the
rub?
rub, man. Yeah. So Ken, first of all, the most important question I want to start out with this morning.
Yes.
How was your cottage cheese this
Very
morning?
excited, Ed. Because now I get to put some apples in my cottage cheese, right? I'm working on my meal prep. Now I get to put some apples in there. Today I didn't go with the slap your mama's seasoning, but yeah, love my cottage cheese every day.
Okay, dude. So happy. I'm so happy that you're eating cottage cheese.
Why are you so worried about the cottage cheese, Ed?
You know what, dude? Like everything, it's my own insecurity. It's my own insecurity that my girl Megan, she'll be like, "Oh my God, you said my name on the podcast." She was like, "Dude, try some cottage cheese." I'm like, "I'm not trying cottage cheese." And she made me try it. And I'm like, it tastes like nothing. It's like fake rice pudding. I need a therapy session because rice pudding was my father's my father's favorite dessert. And I probably think some way in my own crazy mind that I miss my father. Cottage cheese reminds me of rice pudding that's not really rice pudding. So it's all
That's
me, dude.
deep,
Keep
man. That
eating your
is deep.
cottage cheese.
Well, listen, I eat it every day since December 1st of 2025. I've eaten cottage cheese. It's the only dairy that I'm eating right now. I've cut out sugar, almost exclusively, alcohol, gluten, and the only dairy I eat now is cottage cheese. And I got to tell you, man, I feel phenomenal. I highly recommend get gluten, get all gluten out of your
Mhm.
diet. It serves no purpose.
Shameless
It really
plug,
does.
April 9th. That's going to be part of how we scale our business through our energy. But getting back to, I think, what happened in the last few days and why my wise remarks about the cottage cheese, I was at the gym the other day working out and I look and there's a kid, 19, 20 years old, working out. And he's literally in his pajamas and slippers. And I see that. I don't know. I mean, I see that a lot here in Florida. And I'm like, and I flip back to 1985 of me working out with the Small Brothers at Sussex Fitness Center in Broomall. I'm walking into the gym
Wait, is that back in the
in the
industrial
industrial
park
park.
back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm walking in. Now, we all work construction. I'm walking in my jeans or camouflage pants, work boots, flannel shirt, taking the last drag of my Marlboro Red or my Newport, flicking it. I may have drank 2 or 3 beers. Then we go in and we lift like 7,000 pounds. And now these kids are working out in their slippers. I don't know what's better, what's worse, but it's just been stuck in my head. And
You
then the
know,
whole
it's
cottage
it's
cheese thing.
interesting. Yeah, there's a school of thought that says, hey, at least they're working out, right? Like at least they're at the gym, at least they're working out. But I feel like that's way too bare minimum for me too. Like if you're gonna do something, prepare to do the thing, right? Just the activity itself it's just so bare minimum. And if you're in slippers and in pajamas, like it doesn't seem to me like you are prepared to do the thing, you know? You don't get up in the morning, roll out of bed and roll right to a listing presentation. Get out of the morning, roll out of bed, go right to a mortgage application or settlement. Like there's a reason why Superman wore a cape, right? Like you have a uniform, it's a mindset thing. Maybe I'm putting too much into it, but yes, I think that when you are, you know, going to the gym, be ready and prepared to go to the gym. You know, if you're going to go to work, be ready and prepared to go to work. If you're going to sit around and watch Netflix all day, fine. Be prepared to do that. Put your slippers on and hang out. But no, I'm the same mind. I get frustrated, I get annoyed, I get like judgy when I see young adults out there wearing pajama pants and Crocs, man. I just can't, I can't do it.
Dude, Crocs will be another podcast. I can't say what I'm thinking right now. What I will say, and we'll get into business here, is, and this was 22 years ago, my first Anthony Robbins event, and this relates directly to loan officers, real estate agents, brokers, teams, companies. He said this 22 years ago. 20 years ago, you had a job, you had a business. If you were good at it, if you had a good product, if you had good service, you had a good business, you retired with a good pension or good IRA. Today, good gets you fired. There is no room for good. None. It does.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
And I'm going to explain why as we get into this.
So
Can I
let's
tell
talk
you a quick
about
story? Let me tell you a quick story about good. I bought a new Jeep a month ago. Dude was there on a Sunday. Believe it or not, car dealerships are open on Sundays down here. He came out next day, did the deal. Beautiful, brand new Jeep. Love it. Love it. Got really close to the price that I was looking for. Blah, 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 blah. 2 days later, after I'm driving it, the driver's side roof latch keeps popping off or popping open. Forgot the email him. I emailed him finally. I said, dude, I've been meaning to send you this email for like 3 weeks now, but the driver's side latch keeps popping open. Can it be taken care of? He replies, absolutely. Just call the service department Monday. I just bought I don't even know what it costs, 65 grand. I just bought a $65,000 vehicle from you. You want me to call the service department?
what do
No,
you think the equivalent of that
that's
in the real estate industry is?
that's good. He's not getting a referral from me now.
So draw an equivalency now. Give me an idea of
Mhm.
what you think. How does that conversation go in the real estate world? How can you give an example?
Okay. So as far as real estate, I'll go real estate sales to real experiences I've had with loan officers, but real estate agents and their clients. Good today is, hi Ken, thanks for having me into your house. I'm going to show you my marketing thing, tell you how great I am, and tell you you should list your house at 850. That's good. Give you a couple scenarios. Great is, hey Ken, thanks for having me over. I'm going to lay out some options for you. I'm in charge of the process. You're in charge of the decision. If we list your house here, this is what you can expect. If we list your house here, this is what you can expect. If you list your house here, what you can expect. I'm ad-libbing this. What do you see working best for you? By the way, here are the other options as well, not just price. It looks like we could do XYZ to make it uh, be a really attractive listing. Put new paint, do this, fix the kitchen up a little bit. That'll cost my company $30,000. I'll put that money up. There's that option. Then there's sell it as is, or there's, I also have an investment company that I'm telling you, your house is worth 500,000, but I'll buy it for 390,000 today.
The cash offer.
Cash offer. In other words, options, right? Good versus great. That good versus great is me taking, or an agent taking, as long as they're calling within business hours. I'm not a believer personally, call me anytime. I'll take your call. But me not getting back to someone, within a 2-hour window. Loan officers, when the real estate agent who recommended you gets a call from their client. Hey, I haven't heard from Joe Smith, the mortgage officer you recommended. Done. Absolutely done. As far as leadership, by the way, these are all true stories. Hey, Ed, I'm looking to see if you guys are hiring agents. Of course we are. Why? What's going on? Well, I just walked past my operating partner and I had a question about a listing. She looked me in the eye, didn't answer the question, and told me I should join MAPS coaching.
When I have a funny story. fresh out of college. And actually, I don't even know if I graduated yet. And I was doing the interview circuit, looking for that first job out of school. And um I had an interview with Enterprise Rental Car. I'll never forget this. The day of the interview, my suit's in the dry clean, and I can't get it. It's not done in time. I sent my brother down to the dry cleaner, get the suit. Hey, Pat, I need you to do me a favor. He goes down there. They won't give him the suit. He's yelling, screaming. He's about to flip tables. My brother needs his suit. Give me his suit. He doesn't get the suit. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna have to borrow a suit. So I borrowed my stepdad's suit. That was a little bit tight. So little Chris Farley, fat guy, and a little coat action going on. I was super like insecure. I was like, this isn't right. But anyway, long story short, I head out. Now it's time to head to this interview. Get to the interview. I'm like 10 minutes late because that 202 section in Delaware, it's split highway. I don't know where I'm going. I have to turn around, U turn, get there. Lady, the managing hiring manager is expected. And of course, I'm an idiot kid. I'm like, pregnant, huh? She goes, it's really not what we're here to talk about. I was so embarrassed. But I will tell you, that's not the reason why I remember this interview. She asked me a question that stuck with me for the rest of my career.
Mhm.
And she said, what's the difference between good customer service and excellent customer service? And I said, well, I guess good customer service is, being polite, answering the phone and doing, giving the customer what they're looking for. And excellent customer service, and I'm stumbling over my words. And I said, I guess excellent customer service is like, kind of making sure you're there for the customer and giving them what they're like. She's like, you already said that. Like this woman was
Mm.
ruthless and justifiably so. She should have been. Long story short, I didn't get the job. I come home, talking to my stepdad, how did it go? And I said, she asked me this question, what's the difference between good customer service and excellent customer service? And he goes, how did you answer? I said, I fumbled over the answer. He goes, do you want the answer? I said, yes. And he says, good customer service is doing what the customer expects you to do. Excellent customer service is doing more than the customer expects you to do. And that stuck with me for the rest of my career. Good is returning a text promptly. Excellent is picking up the phone and explaining the answer, especially if it's complicated. If you know the answer is going to be nuanced and complicated, don't just reply back with a text. When a phone call matters, know when a phone call matters and make the phone call. That's excellent customer service. I tell my buyers at settlement, if you ever have to call the customer service department of any mortgage company, whether it's my mortgage company or another mortgage company, and you don't get what you're looking for on the very first call me. Because we'll conference call them together, and 99 times out of 100, whatever the problem is, we'll get it fixed with me on the line because I speak the language. And that developed that kind of offer to my past customers, to my customers, developed from that conversation 23 years ago that has been burned in my brain. It's not about just doing what they need. It's about going the extra step. And it's such a cliche. It's such a cliche to say, oh, I'm going the extra step. You call a good mortgage company, they'll take your information on your online application and they'll issue a pre-approval letter and say, hey, you're good to go. Excellent mortgage company will take the information, put together multiple options, educate you on what the underwriters are looking for in a mortgage application so you have context. They'll give you the tools you need to make good real-time decisions. They'll make sure you have everything you need when you need it so that, because we all know that putting in an offer is not a scheduled experience. It's well, we saw the house, we love it. Now's the time to take action. So your buyers, your borrowers have to be ready, willing, and able to make educated, informed decisions in real time. That's excellent. And there's some excellent lenders out there, I always say. But that's what we do. We go above and beyond to make sure that the borrowers can make educated, informed decisions in real time and not have to wait a day or, God forbid, in some cases, 2 days to get an answer back from their loan officer.
You know what? So you can put in the show notes at 1606. I'm going to give a shout out to Jackie D'Antonio.
Okay.
Spoke to her this morning and I asked her what percentage of your business is referral. She's been in the business as long as I have, 20 years, a little over 20 years. Her response was all of it. I talked to a team I don't coach them, but I was talking to them because they need help. And this is why they have averaged 100 million in production. And in the last 2 years, and over the last decade, in the last 2 years, their business is really down. When I asked them, what percentage of your business is referrals? It was in the teens. So, what you're saying as far as service, I agree 1000%. But the reason why Jackie D'Antonio's business is 100% what I'm calling now ridiculous referrals, which is what my training is going to be on April 9th. It's a workshop.
April 9th.
Comes down to one word. Guess what it is?
You got me.
Trust. Trust.
Trust.
And that's not just a word. The reason why agents aren't getting referrals, I went above and beyond. Well, you went above and beyond doing pathetic things for your clients so they like you. You didn't go above and beyond as far as execution and results. You did not do what you said you were going to do. Therefore, they don't trust you and they will not refer you. And this is the point that I've been making for the last 18 months. It only took me 20 years to realize this, is what a vital role the loan officer makes in the transaction. At least my daughter Helen, at the time, she was 5, and she told me I was the best real estate agent on planet Earth. So I'm taking that I was really, really good. And I never looked at some of the clients that I know I did an incredible job for. But when I really dug into it, they were like, "Hey, Ed, you were great. Everything, you found us the house, you did this, but so and so dropped the ball, and I can't refer business to you because they don't realize, they don't realize Ed EXP, Ken Princeton Mortgage, that they think Ed and Ken are part of the same company." You're on mute.
As they should.
Yeah. And but I can't hear anything in the background. You're good.
Oh, I'm paranoid. I'm like
Yeah, I can
distracted by
tell.
these
I love when you
landscapers.
get fidgety. You're like me. When there's background noise, I'm like, I'm gonna snipe you, Mr. Landscaper. But
I was this close to like yelling out the window.
but yeah, I can't hear it.
All
They're
right,
both
all right.
nuts. It's
I'll
great.
trust you.
Yeah, I would tell you, I'd be like, tell the landscaper to shut up. Because I just went on a rant on a Facebook Live about influencers and how they're not doing good things. But that's from my therapist after I
But
hang up.
you make a great point, Ed, and that is sometimes that credibility gap, it opens. It just opens the first time you say one thing and do another. And we talk about micro commitments all the time. And that is something that we talk about here at Princeton all the time. Micro commitments. Set and keep your micro commitments. They're so important. If I'm going to call you at 4 o'clock, call you at 4 o'clock. If I can't, if we're not going to jump on right at 9:30, I got a text from Ed. Hey, running 2 minutes behind. There's a huge difference between getting a text from Ed at 9:28 saying I'm running a couple minutes behind, or Ed showing up at 9:33 saying I'm sorry, I apologize, I got jammed up. Like, worlds of difference between those two behaviors, experiences, and one maintains the credibility gap at 0. The other opens it just a bit. And the bigger the commitment, the more important it is that you keep that commitment, because once the credibility gap grows to a certain level, now everything gets questioned, whether it's in the back of their mind or the front of their mind, everything's going to get questioned. And God forbid something real shows up in a transaction, something important, difficult, a challenge. And now you have to sit down and you have to explain to someone, okay, listen, this is how things normally happen. This is why this is not happening right now. This is the situation. This is the unique spot. They're either going to be like, all right, man, I trust you. Or you're like, dude, you're full of shit. You were full of shit when you told me you're going to call me at 9:30, and you're full of shit now. And they won't say that to your face. Very few people are kind enough to tell you the truth, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they will say it with their future behavior by not referring you. And I find that a lot of people They blow up the credibility gap early, then they work their asses off for the rest of the transaction, going above and beyond, because now they're trying to recover from small commitments they didn't keep early on in a transaction. And, again, that's a lesson learned. That's a lesson learned. You can't be told that. You can. We're telling you right now. We could tell you whatever we want. But I promise you that once you learn that lesson, you're like, you know what? Sudden, I'll call you at 9:30 means I will call you at 9:30. And if not, you better be texting them at 9:28 saying, hey, I'm jammed up. Because that does happen, right? It does happen. But there's two different ways to approach it, and one opens the credibility gap and the other one keeps it closed. And you need it to be tight, because this real estate world is chaos. I had a transaction the other day. If I had said this, I must have said this 5 times in this transaction, and the sentence was normally blank. That's odd, because normally this is what happens, but this is what happened. Normally, you order the wire and the wire goes right through. I don't know why your wire is taking 7 hours. Normally, we get the tax certs a few days ahead of time. I don't know why we're getting the tax certs the day before closing. Normally, my emails go to my borrowers and you see them. I don't know why your email, you didn't get the closing package, but the good news is we're here and we're going to go through it together. Like, it just seemed like it was one of those situations where what normally happens wasn't happening. But if I didn't have the credibility, if I didn't have the trust of that buyer in that moment, I would have sounded like I was bullshitting them the whole time. But that's where I relied heavily on the fact that I built that credibility, built that trust early in a transaction. So when something weird happens, be like, yeah, this isn't how it normally happens, but here we are. Here's how we're going to fix it. And it was just one of those things, man. It was just like all these little weird things. But if you don't have the credibility gap, then it just looks like you're BSing people.
Speaking of that, real quick, one of my coaching clients, I haven't heard about this for, I don't 4 years now, maybe even more. Wire fraud, 35 grand, gone.
I hear about it every day, and every single day I hear, not in my world, but in the finance and the mortgage world. And that's what we always tell our buyers, man, never ever take wire instructions from anyone but the title company and confirm it with a phone call. Take the wire instructions from the title company, confirm it with a phone call, because yeah, man, once that money's gone, it's gone.
As we talk about that, and I want to get into the power, speaking of building trust most of the time is not big things. It's the little things. We're going to talk about the power of language and listening. Wire fraud, that falls 100% on the real estate agent. 100%. This is why I'm leading the transaction. You are leading the mortgage side of the transaction. You are on my team. The way that conversation sounds like with my client is we're going over a lot of things right now, Mr. and Mrs. Client, but I need you to take a deep breath and listen and take notes. I know you've already spoken with Ken Jordan, and he probably already sent you these messages, but I want you to take a deep breath right now and listen. When you get an email, call, text from Ken Jordan, Princeton Mortgage, I want you to, before you respond, before you give any information, I want you to take your little cursor and put it over the email to make sure that's from Ken. It'll look like it. There'll be the logo, there'll be everything. But instead of saying kjordan at princetonmortgage.com, it'll say KJ the closer dot advent dot blah, 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 blah. Call me. This is a time where you don't respond. You take the time to call me, call Ken, double check it with a text. This is why there's a thing called wire fraud. And although I don't have control of it, Ken doesn't have control of it, we are responsible for keeping you safe. What questions do you have specific to wire fraud? Because if that happens, Do you think the trust is broken? Do you think it would be easy for me to go, well, that's not my fault, you idiot. That's Ken. I'm the real estate agent. And then you could say easily, well, it's not my fault. Don't you remember I sent you that email? Don't you remember I sent you the disclosure? Don't you see the warning at the end of every one of my emails to you?
Nobody reads that shit,
No,
right? No,
full
you're right. You're right.
responsibility.
In the mortgage world, the note, the borrowing instrument, it's called a joint and several liability, which means that both parties that borrow the money are responsible for 100% of the payment. So it's not like one party can make half a payment and their obligation is met. Both parties on the note are 100% responsible for making that payment. And that's the same in our world. We have joint and several responsibility, which means it's both of our jobs. It's 100% both of our jobs to make sure that the buyer gets taken care of. It can't be, I do my job, and if you do your job, you do your job. If you don't, you don't. I'm going to protect my reputation. Your reputation is shit. And listen, that goes for me too. That's one of the frustrating things about for sale by owners, or when I'm working with an agent that I've never met before. You know, buyer comes and it's like, hey, Ken, I want to use you for my mortgage. Awesome. Here's my agent. Awesome. It's tricky because sometimes the agent they chose maybe doesn't recognize the joint and several responsibility, which, by the way, I'm going to coin that phrase. That's a KJ, the closer original that I just came up with. Joint and several responsibility. Mark it down.
Mm.
That, if that's not understood, then now my reputation is at stake too, because at the end of the day, I don't view it as the real estate agent's fault. I don't view it, I view it as we are both 100% responsible for delivering an unbelievable experience to this client. And if you guys are not on the same page, that's where problems pop up. So I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Let's talk about, speaking of trust, the power of language and listening. This is an art, and this is one of those things that, when done improperly, little cracks in the foundation that lead to, for some reason, I'm not trusting this person. So let's first talk about the power of listening. Number one, get comfortable with silence.
That's a superpower, man.
Number
That is a superpower.
number two, if you have to, if you're live or you're on Zoom, I'm doing it now. Sit on your hands. It reminded me to listen to the end. So an exercise that you can have is, let's just have a really simple role play here. I'm sitting at your kitchen table and you're selling your house. I'm going to do it the wrong way first.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you some questions. So, Ken, tell me what's most important to you in your experience of listing and selling your home with me.
Well, I mean, obviously, me and my wife, we want to move. We want to get into
Uh
a
huh.
different neighborhood, different house. We
Okay.
obviously we want to make sure we get the
All right.
most money for our property.
Okay.
That's really, you know, we bought it for 340. We think it's definitely worth 500. Plus, don't forget,
Oh
we
my
put
God.
that new hand.
Hold on. You bought it for 340?
Yes, and we put
Wow.
that new hamster wheel in last week, so that had to add like nine thousand
Oh
dollars
my,
in
do you like
value.
hamsters?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
Well, right. Yeah,
hamsters.
but so what I
Wow. Do you know Jerry Penacoli?
shut it
I'm
down.
sorry.
Shut it down.
Okay. Now, the old school guys taught us taught us to build rapport.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm like you. Okay. Wow. Really? Ah. Oh, are you shaking your head? I'll shake my head. I'll sit like you. Oh, Jesus God. That worked in 1985, man.
It didn't even really work that great then. We
No,
just
it
didn't know any
didn't.
better.
Without boring the audience here.
Dude, you just made a Jerry Penacoli reference. I can't imagine this audience is bored right now. And I think it was a gerbil. So go ahead.
Should we just skip to the next episode?
No, you're on a roll.
All right. Effective listening. You and I are high D's, high I's. You and I can go back and forth and it doesn't insult either one of us as we're having this conversation back and forth. only like 3% of the human population is a high D and a high I. That's a dangerous combination, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dangerous.
Well, as you can tell.
But here it breaks trust when we ask a question and we don't allow the other person to finish answering it. And this is really, really important. Mike Cianci and I, back in the day, I would go to his house and I'd have him do his listing presentation over and over. And this is how, the reason why everybody asks, like, how does Mike do it? He's like the Tom Brady of real estate. He doesn't do it until he gets it right. He does it until he can't get it wrong. But one of the things was listening. So it has to become a habit where, and I will do it out loud. So, Ken, what's most important to you in your experience of listing and selling your home with me?
Well, obviously, we have a house. We have a house we want to buy, and it's important that we get as much out of this house as possible because we're going to need that money to purchase the next house. So we've been here for a long time. We've done a lot of work to it. Um, I already mentioned the hamster wheel, but we also, put on a roof. And I think that, my goal is to try and get as much money out of this as possible.
Anything else?
I don't want to have to do too much to the house because we're busy. And I really, honestly, I want to try and get this done by May 3rd.
Got it. I wrote all of that down. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. That 3-second pause. The reason why that's important is if I'm answering that question so that it sinks in with the audience. If you ask me that question, what's most important to me listing and selling my home with you, Ken Jordan, the real estate agent, I want you to not hesitate when I finish the answer. And I want you to go something like, got it. Let me go over my marketing material. Okay. So what's most important to me, Ken? Well, I would like to sell it quickly. And of course, I'd like to get as much money. And
So let me show you my listing presentation. Let me show you how we're going to get you the most money.
but Ken, the real reason is this is a true story, by the way. This is from a listing presentation I was on. And I think I shared this before. My wife only has 4 months to live. And I want to get to California, take her to California, where she dreamed of living her whole life. Now, because do you feel the chills? Right? Like, dude, that just hit me. If we interrupt people, that's the detrimental impact. Now, the not so serious and intense stuff is the power of language, which is filled with ums, ahs, you knows, literallys, to be honest, for real, right? Right. I heard a speaker the other day. So when we list your house, right? And then we go to settlement, right? I don't know who made up that word right, but everyone
That is
says
a
it today.
thing right now.
Excuse me?
That's a thing right now. It's common. Yeah, I hear you. Right?
I almost just said literally. It's like taking an old record and scratching it. Like, why are you saying right after every sentence? It's what's called a filler word, just like ums and ahs. When you listen to effective communicators and effective speakers, they will not say ums, ahs. They have trained their brain to be okay with 1, 2, or 3 seconds. Right now, your brain's going, what's he going to say next? I'm not saying and ahs. Your brain is going to get comfortable pausing.
So not just comfortable pausing between thoughts, but comfortable in the pause so that the people stay with you too. Right? That was a
Yes,
question. That wasn't a statement.
yes. And knowing that what your subconscious mind is telling you every time the sound, to be honest, literally comes out of my mouth into your ears, into your brain, into your subconscious mind is, I don't trust this guy. He's not a clear communicator. I don't understand that word. That's not communication. He's not a professional. He speaks like the soft pretzel vendor on Passyunk Avenue. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Communication is so important. Listening is so important.
One of the I don't know if you know Joe Stumpf. He by referral only, big coaching
Yes.
platform over the years. One of his techniques is to press your tongue against the roof of your mouth when someone else is talking. It's a and then it makes the listening an action, and you are forced to not say anything because you can't talk when your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth. And I've forgotten that, and that's what I love about these conversations. That, to be honest, like we're at 41 minutes and 20 seconds. If if people are still listening, as I always say, God bless you. But these are the moments where I'm like, man, I'm glad we did this today because this was a great reminder for me to push my tongue against the roof of my mouth when people are talking, especially because, and you brought it up, people don't come out of the gate with the most important thing they're about to say. It wades into their important conversations. You know what I mean? No one just, what's important to you about your experience when my wife's dying? No, that's not what people do. They wade into that conversation. You got to give them time to wade in because you haven't even heard the real answer yet. That for me is a huge takeaway for today. Humongous takeaway for me today. Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, it is all about good gets you fired today. We have to be extraordinary. And a big part of that is how we communicate with our audience when we're listening to clients, because and this all leads to ridiculous referrals. Ridiculous referrals.
Let me ask you a question, and this is putting you on the spot. So if you don't have an answer, it's okay. But what are some things, some exercises people can do to practice their like eliminating their filler words, like I just did? I said like. What are some things people can do to practice eliminating filler words?
Number one, record yourself. Number two, in your heart, in your gut, when you are in front of someone. I learned this from Kit Anstey, which, by the way,
We
I
are
owe
name
Kit.
dropping today, baby.
What's that?
I said we are name dropping today. I love it.
Yes, Kit. And I tell him this anytime I see him. I owe him everything in my real estate career. He called it love eyes. Or no, I'm sorry. He said, be a love cat. There's a
A
song by
love
the
cat.
Duprees called Love Eyes. What love cat and what love eyes are is when you are truly engaged, not in a creepy way, but with a pleased look, listening, like you love the person, repetition, listening. So, what that sounds like, you and I could do it now. I could call you later, and every time you say, like, right, I go like this on my phone.
So get a partner. As you said, get a partner.
It's like a taser. And we don't think it's important. It is everything. Everything. We sound like idiots when we use those filler words.
Agreed.
Record yourself, practice. Repetition is the mother of skill. Repetition. When you are speaking with your family at dinner, this goes across every relationship, not just business, but with Megan's like, you are an incredible communicator. You're like no other man. And I'm like, they didn't have the training I did. I got the edge, man. I got you. I
In
got you.
more ways than one.
If it's 10:29, I have a coaching appointment in a minute. Honestly, that's a filler word.
Honestly.
Men, just listen. Don't respond. Just listen to your wife. That's all she wants you to do.
That's a hard one.
Don't talk. Don't try to fix anything. I will say, if you want to get lucky tonight, don't say a word. Just listen. And the next thing you know, they're like, thank you for listening. You are the best. And you'll be like, text me like, dude, you were right, man. I
All right,
go,
if you're
whoa.
still listening at 46 minutes in, you just got gold. And thank you. Go do your thing. We'll catch up again. This was awesome. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, brother.